Hi there, welcome to today's presentation on how to read the nutrition facts label. My name is Alejandra Boker. I am the lead dietitian here at Sanitas Medical Center. So the objectives of today's presentation is to, number one, learn how to read the nutrition facts label, and number two, learn how to compare the different labels when you go to the supermarket. For example, if you go and buy bread, you have multiple brands to choose from, so how do we compare those brands? So why do we have to learn about reading the nutrition facts label? Well, it allows you to make better decisions about the products that you consume. Essentially, when you look at the nutrition facts label, you have a lot of different information, but more importantly, you also have the calories, which can determine what type of quality product you're purchasing at the store. So let's go ahead and get started with reading the nutrition facts label. The first thing you should always look at is the serving size. So at the top of the nutrition facts label, you'll have how many servings that product has and what the serving size is. For example, this particular product has 4 servings per container, and the one serving size is 1 cup. So if you were to eat the entire product, you're actually consuming 4 cups. So now we're moving on to the calories. As you can see, the calories are bold, they're larger font, and in this case, we're consuming about 280 calories for every 1 cup that we're consuming. Now we move on to the section of the nutrients. Now, starting off with the total amount of fat. In this particular case, if we consume 1 cup, we're consuming a total of 9 grams of fat. As you can see right below it, it says 4.5 grams of saturated fat and 0 grams of trans fat. Now, the one type of fat that's missing is unsaturated fat. So what we can assume is that if we're consuming a total of 9 grams of total fat and we have 4.5 grams of saturated fat, we're left with 4.5 grams of unsaturated fat. Now we can move on to cholesterol. In this case, this product has 35 milligrams of cholesterol. Now, contrary to what a lot of people think, if you consume eggs, the entire egg yolk, it will not affect your cholesterol. So something to keep in mind. If we're talking about sodium, in this case, we're consuming 850 milligrams. Now, a lot of people wonder how much to consume in a day. An average diet will have anywhere between 2,400 milligrams of sodium. So if we're consuming 1 cup of this product, we're consuming 850 milligrams out of the 2,400 milligrams we should be consuming in a day, or at least trying not to exceed that amount. A low sodium diet should contain roughly around 1,500 milligrams. So if we compare 850 milligrams to 1,500 milligrams in a day, 850 milligrams in one single sitting for a cup can be a lot. The total amount of carbohydrate in this case is 34 grams for every cup. Then we have 4 grams of total fiber and 6 grams of total sugar. The good thing about this product is that it has 0 grams of added sugar. This is good because now we're thinking, or I guess can assume, that these companies, or in this case, this particular company for this particular product, they're not adding any extra sugar to the product. And then lastly, we're looking at the amount of protein. For every cup that we consume, we're getting 15 grams of protein. Now, a lot of you, again, might be wondering how much protein I should consume in a day. This is very relative. It depends on the person. It depends on your activity level, your age, but just roughly anywhere between 0.8 to 1 gram for every kilogram. Now, that's just a general rule, so keep that in mind. Lastly, we have the different nutrients, or I guess in the sense of vitamins and minerals. We have vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. Now, the good thing about this new label is that now it specifies how much amount you're specifically getting of each vitamin or mineral. So this one has 320 milligrams of calcium, 1.6 milligrams of iron, and 510 milligrams of potassium. Let's talk about the percent daily value. This is probably the trickiest part for a lot of people. Why? Because what do these percentages actually mean? So these percentages, essentially what they're telling you is out of a diet of 2,000 calories, what percentage of that nutrient you're consuming. So for example, if we're comparing it to a 2,000 calorie diet and what's considered a standard healthy diet, let's say they are recommending 65 grams of saturated fat in a day, and you're consuming roughly around 30 grams in a day, then you're at pretty much 50% for that particular day. So if you look at the label at the bottom, some of them will have that explanation at the bottom, some of them don't. In this case, this one does not specify what's considered a standard healthy diet for 2,000 calories in a day. But just keep that in mind, that this is only relevant for a 2,000 calorie diet. You particularly might not need 2,000 calories. You might need less or you might need more. So this is not specific to you. What I oftentimes recommend is focus more on the amount of grams versus the percentages. This example of plain yogurt versus fruited yogurt. The first thing you want to look at is the serving size. Are they the same? If they're not, you might need to make adjustments. Just to give you an example, if you have 1 cup as 1 serving on one product and half a cup as a serving on another product, then you might either have to divide all of the amounts by 2 in this example, or you might have to multiply everything by 2 in this example in order to be able to compare. On one end, the plain yogurt contains 110 calories, and the fruited yogurt contains 240 calories. So as we move down the label, we can see that the saturated fat for the plain yogurt is 0 grams, and in the fruited yogurt, the saturated fat is 1.5 grams. Now, the biggest difference that we can see here is the total amount of carbohydrate. The plain yogurt for every serving contains 15 grams, and then for the fruited yogurt, it contains 46 grams. The added sugar is probably the biggest difference. So we have 10 grams of sugar for the plain yogurt and 44 grams of sugar for the fruited yogurt. Now, we don't necessarily know in this case, just because it's the old label, whether this is sugar that's actually in the product, meaning coming from the fruit, or coming from the lactose, which is the sugar from the yogurt, or if the company is actually adding sugar. Are they adding high fructose corn syrup? Are they adding honey to this product? We don't necessarily know. But what we do know is that there's a big difference in the amount of sugar. So that's where you see the difference also in the total amount of carbohydrate. One contains 15 grams and the other one contains 46 grams. So when you look at these products and you're at the supermarket, you want to definitely take a look at the ingredients, because the ingredients will tell you whether or not they're adding actual sugar to this product. So the ingredients is probably my favorite part, and the reason why this is because something can be low in calorie, something can be high in calorie, right? But it doesn't necessarily determine the quality of the product. Meaning, you can have something that's low in calories, but very poor quality, or vice versa, you can have something that's high in calories, but very good quality product. So you want to definitely look at the ingredients. The easiest way to go about it is, if you don't recognize a product or an ingredient, you can just assume that it's something that is probably highly processed and that you cannot buy individually at the grocery store. So some of the different ingredients to look out for are food coloring, which you can see as yellow number 5 or blue number 10, for example. With genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, essentially what you're getting is genetically modified products that allow these products to have a longer shelf life. So when a product is not GMO or doesn't contain genetically modified organisms, you are getting the non-GMO project label on that product. So other things to look out for are preservatives, refined sugar, artificial sweeteners, gums, and poor quality oils such as corn oil, peanut oil, soybean oil, palm oil. The good quality oils are avocado oil, coconut oil, and olive oil, for example. So make sure to look at the ingredients more so oftentimes than the nutrition facts label, because that will determine the actual quality of the product. Remember, it's always key to look at the nutrition facts label, because it will allow you to make better decisions about the products that you are consuming. The key point here is that if you do not recognize an ingredient, always either look it up or just avoid the product completely. You can do that as well. And remember, whole foods do not contain nutrition facts labels. So if you're buying fruits, vegetables, these types of items, you don't necessarily have to worry about the nutrition facts label because they don't contain them. So thank you for watching this presentation. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach us at nutritionsupport@mysanitas.com. And I hope to see you at the next presentation.